How to pitch properly on a sales call and take payment on that call. I have never done a YouTube video like this, and I thought I'd just start with an absolute banger and give you all the value that I possibly can. So I'm gonna start with my 5-step pitch and teach it to you in the next couple of minutes so you can start to implement it right away and start seeing results. In full transparency, I want you to start to see results so you can see, oh my God, this girl really knows what she's talking about. And then you wanna hire me and give me your money because I'm really good at what I do. Either way, you're gonna find a lot of value in this, even if you don't hire me. So let's break it down. The 5-step pitch includes the why, the what, the how, a temperature check, and your price drop. And so I start with the why, and I set my pitch up this way, or what I like to call my high-level promise, instead of thinking about it as a pitch, because I don't need to be desperate and thirsty and feel like I have to chase a check. That's not what I'm doing here. I want this person to know that I promise to deliver on something that's actually gonna solve their problem. And so it changes my tone and voice around the way that I communicate my pitch, AKA my high-level promise. So we start with our why. This is why this person is even getting on this call with you in the first place. And your why is gonna consist of 2 things. This is what I call my elevator sentence, or what you would call like an elevator pitch, plus the 2 major objectives that made them get on the call. So to give you an example, my elevator pitch might sound like, in my 10 years of experience running ads, I generated over $100 million in sales utilizing ads only. And now I help my clients to, number 1, create a comprehensive ad strategy specifically designed for their company that's gonna work so that they can, number 2, print cash in their sleep, just to give you an example. And so you're gonna have this why, which is gonna consist of that elevator sentence, which speaks to your credibility, the results, the receipts that you have, without being like, yeah, I'm gonna give you some context on a little bit about me. Let me just share a little bit about myself. Like sometimes I see people who do that, and the problem with that is you lose your leverage. So I want you to sound like the authority and not like you have to explain yourself or show them how great you are. That little elevator sentence accomplishes setting the tone, setting you as the authority without you having to like explain yourself to someone. So you have a little elevator sentence, and then you easily just segue the 2 objectives in there so they know that what you've accomplished can help them to accomplish these 2 things. The 2 things that they're coming to you for have to be the reasons why they need your help. It can't just be 2 random things. And typically when you understand your industry, you understand why your ideal client's coming to you and the 2 major things that they need help with. That's gonna be your why. And then you're gonna do that through these 3 steps, which is gonna be your 3 pillars or your 3 steps. This is your what. Your what is your guarantee. These are things you can guarantee to do to help them fix why they came. So these are not to be confused with your deliverables. Your deliverables are your how you work together. But your what are gonna be 3 steps or 3 pillars that you know can solve why they came to you. Just to give you one example, in my 10 plus years of experience running ads, I generated over $100 million in sales using ads specifically. And now I help my clients to do, number 1, build out a comprehensive ad strategy specifically designed for their business so that they can, number 2, print money in their sleep. Those are the 2 reasons why someone's coming to you, right? And I've done that through these 3 major pillars. The first pillar is this, and this is where we want to create a container, like a name for each pillar, because what people do here is they will list off a full description. They'll describe the scenario, they'll describe what they're gonna do. And what that does is it gets very wordy and confusing. We wanna be really concise and short here, using brevity as a way to make the offer sound more desirable. So you wanna have a title or a container for this. To give you an example, I might say, my done for you ads process, or my done for you ads protocol. Title. And a little special secret I'm gonna share with you guys here is an objection sandwich that I've created. What this does is it literally obliterates objections before they become objections. So we deal with obstacles here. And I create the container, I describe why that's important, I pull back the problem or the struggle that the person mentioned in the beginning of the call, and then I finish it off with how we are going to fix that and what result they're gonna get by utilizing this. So I'm literally sandwiching the person's objection that they mentioned earlier on in the call that they had a problem with, the reason they came, so that they know that that exact solution, that container, the done for you ads protocol, or whatever it is that I title it, is gonna solve that problem. So I do that through these 3 steps. The first thing is my done for you ads protocol. This is where my team and I are gonna come in and we're going to design everything for you. Earlier, you were talking a lot about how you had hired a team and they were trying to do this and they needed this from you, but they didn't have all the materials that they needed and then the ads weren't working well. Well, I don't want you to be in the dark. So my team and I are gonna come in and actually create the ad creatives for you, set them up, manage them, and make sure that they're running smoothly. You would do that for all 3 of these pillars or all 3 of these steps. These are 3 things for a fact you can guarantee that you can do. I never guarantee money, like you're gonna make this amount. I never guarantee views, like you're gonna get this many views. Never guarantee anything you can't guarantee. You can't guarantee those things. But I can guarantee that my team and I are going to come in and we're going to manage all this for you and relieve you of the stress that you had mentioned earlier. So here we got the 3 pillars. They're all guarantees. You're going to create the objection sandwich so we can sandwich in that objection and show them how what we're going to do is going to solve their problem. And you're going to do that for all 3. This is when I'll go in and ask them for feedback to see if that's exactly what they're looking for. That way I can also pull out any more obstacles. Then once that's done, I'll move over into my how. This is how we facilitate the offer. This is where we list off our deliverables. Your deliverables are going to be the way you're going to work together, and you're going to actually run through them quite swiftly. People will also in the deliverables be like, oh, and I can do this, and I can do this, and I can do this, and they explain all these things when all you need to do is list out what your deliverables are. First, we're going to start with a high-level strategy call where I'm going to build out the strategy we will be implementing over the course of the next 90 days. Then after that, we're going to have 1 call a week every week. You're going to have access to a private chat where we can talk back and forth. And you're also going to have access to these PDFs, resources, whatever else you're going to get access to. Once you run through those deliverables is when we move now into the temp check, which is step number 4. The whole point of the temp check is to really evaluate how this person feels, not just about the offer and what the deliverables are and if they feel strongly about the offer, but honestly how they feel about you. And this is a way to deal with obstacles before they become objections, because once you price drop is the moment you're actually dealing with objections. Up until the point you price drop, you're only dealing with obstacles, and your goal is to literally obliterate and deal with every obstacle possible so that by the end of the call you have 0 objections and have an objectionless sales call. That's the goal. So here you're going to have your temp check after the deliverables to ask this person, scale of 1 to 10, 1 being like, low, this was absolute trash, I can't believe I got on this call with you, and 10 being like, this is everything that you're needing in order to achieve desired result, whatever that is. Where do you feel like you lie on that scale? Getting a true feeling on how this person feels about the offer, because if they give you anything less than a 10, our goal is to actually deal with that obstacle, re-ask them the question, get a 10, and then we move on to the price drop. So your goal here is to make sure you get a 10. If you ran a great sales call, then you'll get that 10. If you don't, you'll get anything less than a 10, like a 9 or 8 or 7, which would be terrible. But if you got an 8 or 9, then you would deal with that obstacle right then and there, and then move on to making sure that they're a 10. Once you do this is then and only then when you move into your price drop. And this 5th aspect of my pitch is where we tell them what the investment looks like. So then we jump directly into price dropping, which is where I'll say, yeah, John, so for us to work together over the course of the next 3 months to achieve desired result, it's a one-time investment of blank or 2 payments of blank. Or I might just do a one-time investment of whatever. And this is a way for us to price drop. And then we get into objection land potentially if we didn't deal with obstacles during the call. Hopefully you did. And at this point, you're just dealing with how to actually take the payment versus dealing with whether or not they're gonna pay or if they're interested. But if you killed the call, then we're taking payment right here. So those are the 5 steps that I use in my pitch process. There are some transitions in between, but I only had about 10 minutes to film this. So tried to run through it as clean as I could. Hope this is helpful. If it is, I'm new on YouTube. So subscribe, share, do all the things that you would do on social media. I don't know. And if you want to hire me so I can help you with this process, you also know what to do with that too. Find me and I can help you. And as always, you're welcome.